I had it all figured out. Every detail was prepared down to the last second. My trip to France was booked, my bags were packed, and the deal I had spent years working for was finally within reach. $50 million. Not just a number, but a legacy. A chance to guarantee a future that no one in my family, past or present, had ever imagined. My business partners were already there, finalizing the last negotiations. All I had to do was board that plane, but my wife, Sophia, had other plans. She had been acting weird for weeks, hurling passive-aggressive comments about how I was always working, how I never spent enough time at home. I brushed it off. I was doing this for us after all. It wasn't like I was out partying or wasting time. I was building something enormous, something life-changing. And then there was the problem with her brother, Jordan. Months ago, he and his wife conveniently dropped their 3 out-of-control kids on us under the premise of temporary help. But temporary became permanent, and suddenly I found myself in a never-ending nightmare of screaming children, shattered furniture, and chaos. It started with tiny things. Sophia expected me to drive the kids to school while she rested, insisting I babysit while she ran errands. At first I played along, figuring she just needed a little support, but as time went on, it became evident. This wasn't about helping anymore. This was about control. The night before my flight, I came home exhausted. I had just finalized the last of my travel details, double-checking everything to ensure nothing would go wrong. The house was eerily calm, a rare moment of peace. But the second I stepped into the living room, something felt off. Then I saw it. The fireplace was still faintly burning, embers shimmering in the low light, and among those embers were charred, curled-up pieces of paper. My gut twisted as I stepped closer, my mind racing to understand what I was seeing. Then, my eyes locked onto one unmistakable fragment, the corner of my passport. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. My passport was burned. Gone. I turned slowly, my body tense, my heartbeat a deafening roar in my ears. And there she was. Sophia stood a few feet away, arms crossed, a sneer tugging at her lips. "What did you do?" My voice was low, controlled. But inside I was on fire. Her smirk widened. "No one is going anywhere." I took a step closer, my breath shallow. "Tell me you didn't." Her chin lifted defiantly. "You will stay here and take care of the kids, and we will finally rest. No business, no France, just us at home together." I couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. This wasn't an accident. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was calculated. She had deliberately destroyed my shot at the deal of a lifetime, all to force me into staying home, into playing her version of the perfect husband. I clenched my fists so tightly my nails sank into my palms. The fury that poured through me was unlike anything I had ever felt before. "Sophia," I said, my voice dangerously calm, "do you have any idea what you've just done?" Her expression didn't change. If anything, she looked pleased. "Oh, quit being dramatic," she said, waving a hand. "It's just a deal. You'll get another one. But my brother needs us. These kids need you. We need you." I laughed, a hollow, disbelieving sound. "Need me?" I shook my head. "The only thing you need is control. And you think trapping me here is the way to get it?" She shrugged. "It's not trapping. It's prioritizing." My hands trembled with the effort to hold myself back. I had given everything to get to this position. Years of work, networking, sleepless nights, gone. Because my wife decided my dreams were disposable, my freedom was disposable. "You think I'm just going to accept this?" I whispered. She chuckled. "What can you do about it? Your flight leaves in a few hours. You don't have a passport, you're stranded here." She was right. My passport was ash, my deal, slipping away. She thought she had won, but she had miscalculated. I turned away, my mind racing through alternatives. There had to be a solution. I refused to let this be the end. I refused to be trapped. Okay, I responded stiffly, pushing past her. You win. I felt her gaze on my back as I walked toward the bedroom. But I didn't look at her. She thought I was giving in. She had no idea. I was already planning my escape, because no matter what it took, I was getting out of here. That night, while she slept beside me, snoring lightly in victory, I stared at the ceiling, every step of my escape running through my mind. By morning, she would believe she had me exactly where she wanted me. By the time the sun rose, I would be gone. She burned my passport thinking she had trapped me, but she forgot one thing. I always have a backup plan. At exactly 2:57 a.m., I heard what I was waiting for, the deep rhythmic breathing of my wife in deep sleep. It was time. Silently, I slipped out of bed. My duffel bag was already packed, hidden in the closet. I reached under the bed, feeling for the small safe. Carefully, I pulled it out, turning the combination dial. Click inside. My second passport, a stack of cash, every emergency document I needed. I slid the passport into my coat pocket, secured, my bag over my shoulder, and moved toward the front door, step by step, avoiding the creaky floorboards. When I reached the door, I took a slow, steady breath, almost there. I turned the lock soundlessly, eased the door open, and stepped into the night. Cold air hit my face, and for the first time in months, I could breathe. I walked away without hesitation. My car was parked down the street, a precaution I had taken earlier. If I had parked in the driveway, she would have heard the engine start. This way, I could vanish. By the time I reached the airport, I was calm. My backup flight was booked, my passport genuine, my alias clean. Destination, Dubai. By the time she woke up, I would be thousands of miles away, untouchable. She thought she had won. She thought she had trapped me. But in the end, she had only burned her own future. I settled into my first-class seat, stretched my legs, and took a slow sip of coffee. The first taste of freedom. As the plane ascended, I imagined her waking up, expecting to find me still in bed. She would check the bathroom, the kitchen, the living room, and then panic would set in. She would grab her phone, dialing my number, only to hear the monotone beep of a disconnected line, and then she would see it. The letter, neatly placed on the table, propped up against her favorite decorative vase, a final message before I disappeared from her life for good. Sophia, you destroyed my passport. You sabotaged my deal. You wanted me stuck. Now you're the one who's trapped. I'm gone. Take care of the kids yourself. Enjoy the rest you wanted, your ex-husband. I swirled the last of my coffee, staring out at the clouds. She was going to lose her mind, and I was going to enjoy every second of it. The lawyer had already begun processing the divorce paperwork. There was no going back. Sophia's reign of dominance was ended. I sat back in my chair, sipping the last of my coffee. Let them suffer. Let them grasp what they had lost. Let them burn in the consequences of their own actions, because I wasn't coming back. The chaos back home had escalated beyond what I had fantasized, and I wasn't even there to witness it. But I didn't have to be. The frantic messages filling my phone painted the scene vividly. Sophia, we need to discuss this. Now. Jordan, bro, you really just left? What the hell are we going to do? Sophia's mom, this is unacceptable. You're abandoning your duty as a husband. Sophia, the kids won't stop wailing. I haven't slept in 2 days. Where are you? Jordan, man, Sophia is losing it. She won't. Stop calling me. Just come back and work something out. I laughed as I scanned through the increasingly desperate texts. So reality was now sinking in. I imagined the situation back home. Sophia was unraveling. She had spent so long manipulating the narrative, thinking I would always do what was asked of me, that she never considered the prospect of me walking away. And now she was drowning in the very obligations she had sought to place on me. The kids. Too much to bear. The financial weight, overpowering. The remorse and understanding that she had destroyed her own safety net, strangling. And Jordan? The king of dumping his obligations on others? I could already picture him distancing himself, making excuses, and preparing to vanish, just as I did. Because the fact was, folks like Jordan and Sophia were users. They didn't take responsibility. They just found others to clean up their mistakes, but I was no longer that person. Back home, Sophia's reality check. I could imagine it clearly. Sophia waking up to a disaster every morning. The house, once pristine because I had taken care of things, was now a war zone. Dirty dishes piled up, toys scattered over the floor, the sink full of bottles she hadn't had time to wash. The kids? They weren't adjusting well to the shift. Sophia had assumed she could just step into the caretaker, roll with ease, but she had never truly done the work. She had never been the one getting up at 3 a.m. to rock a sobbing baby back to sleep. She had never been the one preparing lunches, folding little clothes, clearing away mess after mess. And now that I was gone, she was suddenly feeling the weight I had been carrying all along, and she was failing. Meanwhile, Jordan had fully bailed. I imagined their last discussion being something like this. Sophia, you need to help. I can't do this by myself. Jordan, I don't know what to tell you. You were the one who pushed him away. Sophia, he left. He abandoned me. Jordan, yes, well, maybe you shouldn't have destroyed his blasted passport. That section, I would have wanted to watch personally. Jordan wasn't stupid. He realized his free ride had ended. So, he did what people like him do best. He ran. No more free babysitting. No more handouts. And Sophia? She was alone. Meanwhile, in Dubai, I was doing the exact opposite of what she had presumably envisioned. She had likely expected that without her I would break apart, that I would be lost. Instead, I was prospering. I had checked into a luxury apartment overlooking the city, my new reality, far removed from the chaos I had left behind. While she was drowning in diapers and unpaid expenses, I was finalizing business deals, networking with investors, and drinking the finest whiskey money could buy. While she was fussing with Jordan over who would watch the kids, I was negotiating million-dollar contracts in an air-conditioned boardroom. While she was contacting me non-stop pleading for a response, I was ignoring her completely. The power transfer was complete. The messages took a desperate turn. Sophia, I miss you. Can we chat? Sophia, I made a mistake. Please, let's repair this. Sophia, I need you. I can't do this without you. Jordan, dude, I don't know what you did, but Sophia is losing it. I laid my phone down, exhaling deeply. This was exactly how I wanted things to happen. She had burned my passport to hinder me from leaving. And in doing so, she had burned herself instead, since now she was the one trapped. I had prepared my own escape plan and executed it beautifully. And Sophia? She was just starting to understand the weight of what she had lost. And the best part? I wasn't coming back.